back in 2020, 2001, during the circuit breakdown, I actually fell in love with making notebooks, so I made a bunch of notebooks. So these were some of the notebooks that I made. Some of them are just normal drawing board paper. Some of them, like this one, is actually made with watercolor paper. So I actually got this watercolor paper from a friend who got it from work. They didn't actually end up using it, so it's just been sitting around in their garage for a really long time, and so they decided to just give it to me. I just happened to be her only friend who's into like watercolor and stuff. And so yeah, I've been putting it to good use. I think I've made a few others and I gave it away. This is one of the books that I have made, and to be honest, I still have more watercolor paper and I've made even more books. Here's another random example. This is my 2024 travel art journal. This is made with another kind of paper, but yeah, I'm just trying to work through all my papers as much as possible because watercolor paper will degrade over time, and why not just use it while it's still usable? So basically, I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube of people completing their sketchbook in a week. And I decided that maybe I should give myself this challenge. There isn't as much paper. There's only like... There is 32 pages. If I divide it by 7 days, that's around... If I divide it by 7 days, that's around 4.5 pages per day. I am gonna try my best to focus on artwork that are more loose, more stylized, more bold. So it's probably not gonna be like all the wondrous artwork that you see on YouTube by really talented artists, but it's just gonna be very explorative and fun. Oh, by the way, I made the cover. The cover is made through a technique called suminagashi, which is Chinese ink with dish soap, but the golden accents are with a special kind of golden paint. I really love the results. This is part of the reason why I couldn't bear to just throw this book away, despite the fact that I did such a terrible job at making it. Oh my gosh, this is really bad. But I'm still gonna try and use this book. I'll try and bring you along the journey. I won't film every single thing and probably won't even show you every single artwork because I think it's gonna be a super long video. Okay, so enough blabbing. Let's cut to the adventures. We have arrived. This place is so pretty. So it's the end of day one, and I've only done one painting, and it's not even complete. I need to do something more. I really don't like this part. Yeah, I need to step up my game. I don't usually do this, but since this is such a long video, I decided to do a little bit of a voiceover. Yep, let's chat. You might be able to hear from my voice that I'm desperately trying to recover from a pretty intense cold, cough, and sore throat thing. So please forgive me if my voice sounds a little bit annoying. One of the hardest things about doing this sketchbook challenge was coming up with ideas on what to draw. I don't know about you, but I am someone who just needs a lot of inspiration and a lot of motivation to start drawing, and I have this very pesky need to draw things that has meaning and to draw things that makes sense to me. Like if it doesn't make sense or it's not something that I care about, not like a representation of what I experience or what I've eaten that day or what I've seen that day, and then I don't want to draw it. Like I just don't feel inspired to. But now I have come to believe that that is actually a very narrow and limiting belief, and that in order to improve in any field, one must definitely practice. It's like building muscles. You need to exercise in order to build muscles. Back to the artwork, and this is the first time I'm actually creating full art with acrylic markers, and I'm so excited with the results. And then I decided to do something a little bit easier, a little less detailed, and so I decided to do this underwater scene with a mermaid. On hindsight, I guess I could have added more details into the water, but I was just really excited to get the mermaid correct, because even though I've done a pencil sketch and I've done a few drafts, I was still really afraid of screwing it up because this mermaid is so small, especially her hands. So yep, and then I moved on to a very loose jellyfish artwork. I love how it did turn out. This might be one of my favorite in the entire book. I love the combination of blue and purple and pink. And yep, here is one of the most disappointing typo in YouTube history. Oh gosh, look at how bad the edges look. And then I moved on to some landscape. I keep saying landscape. No, this is landscape. I decided to challenge myself to some misty mountain alpine view, so this is what I was going for. So this is the end of day 2. Well, technically it's the beginning of day 3. So I managed to churn out like 5 pages today. Not really happy with this one. I'm actually really sad when I look at this because I don't know, it looks really bad. And portraits is supposed to be something that I'm good at, but I guess I haven't done it for so long. I forgot how to do it. So and then I did this 2 spread. I like it. This one turned out a lot nicer than I expected. Really disappointed with the edges. Yeah, I guess moral of the story is make sure you use your washi tape when they are still sticky. Sometimes I just don't dare to use my washi tape, and then when I get around to actually using it, they are no longer sticky. So that's what happened here. See, I used another tip here, and so the line was really clean. Anyway, then I did these two shreds. They were so difficult to do. This was supposed to be an aurora, like a northern light thing, but I think it looks like forest fire now. So and then I was trying to do like a misty mountain with the clouds, but oh gosh, it was so hard. I'm really happy with how pine trees and the grass came out. Don't really like the color of the grass. I think it's a bit too green, you get what I mean? I wanted it to be a lot more muted, so I didn't quite control the color as well. But anyway, yep, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really surprised I actually managed to do like 9. Because I was really sad on the first day. I was scrolling through Instagram looking for ideas, and I was looking at the art created by other artists, and I just felt like my art was not good enough. I felt like I couldn't finish this challenge. I really wanted to give up on the first day, but then I decided that I'm just gonna push through. I'm gonna draw something, and yeah, I managed to push through, so I'm very happy with that. Yep, okay, I'm on the roll, sort of. Other than challenging myself to finish the sketchbook in a week, I also wanted to challenge myself to draw as many different things as possible, and to like just explore different art styles and use different medias. And here I am painting parrots. I've never painted parrots before, and I've definitely never painted them in a frontal view. I saw someone take like a passport photograph of their pet parrot on Instagram, and I thought it was hilarious. It looks so cute, so funny. And so I decided like this sketchbook needs some derpy art. It just needs 2 cute little derpy parrots. After that, I decided that I need to move on and hone my skills on portraits again, especially after the first portrait failure. I was like, no, I need to draw some faces. And I defaulted to pretty girls. I used to really love drawing beautiful ladies. This is a picture of a lady I spotted at the Forbidden Palace in China. I took a picture of her. I mean, obviously she doesn't look exactly like this. This is my artistic liberties taken, but the pose and her clothes and her hairpiece were generally the same, so it was really nice to have a photo reference so I can reference the exact pose. Jumping straight to the almost completed face. Yeah, this is where things got a little bit funny, because as you can see, the painted artwork looks nothing like the sketch. Like my friend was saying, she turned from an Asian girl into someone who looks mixed. I don't really know what happened. I think somehow, somewhere, as I was painting, I made micro adjustments, and because the paintbrush was not small enough to make all the details that I did in the pencil sketch, so she just kind of ended up looking like she is a mixed lady, or she might be an Uyghur. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have no idea what happened. Yeah. He's watching TV with me. What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
cookie 是
不可以只有我一个人吃，那个不好吃的。
不可以说大家也可以一起吃。
开呀！
开。哇！一点很邪门的那个。啊！
呀，太多人也很。
太离谱。
Okay, so today is the last full day of the challenge. It's the 1st of September and it is like 2 a.m. and I still have so many pages. I don't know how I managed to like screw up. I thought like I did pretty well in the first, second or third day, but I had 2 days where I couldn't really do much and but yeah, no excuse. So gonna try to catch up, but at the same time I am actually really tempted to just add a few extra days onto the challenge or like just give up the challenge, but I don't really want to give up the challenge because I've come so far. I've like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 18, 20. I've done 20 already and this challenge has consumed me so much the last week or so, and like it just doesn't sit very well with me to give it up, you know, and so I feel inclined to finish this sketchbook, and I don't know, but I'm just gonna eat some watermelon and think about my life decisions. The hardest thing about this challenge is thinking of what to draw, and that was such a difficult thing for someone like me who has decision paralysis. Like, I hate making decisions, but at this point of the challenge I was like, I just need to go, I just draw something. I really liked how pigmented the acrylic markers look drawing food. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use this markers and I'm gonna draw food. I decided, hey, let's do something Southeast Asian. I haven't drawn that yet, and so I decided to draw nasi lemak. And I was quite apprehensive about it, but it turned out a lot better than I expected, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. So the time now is like just 5 minutes to 12 and the end of my last day, and sadly I only painted like 2 paintings today. Technically I only did 1 today because yeah, there's just no way for me to finish 9 more pages, and so I am going to admit defeat and give myself a few more days to complete this, because I really wanted to finish this book. Like, even though I failed the challenge, I didn't manage to do it in 1 week, but like I've already come so far, like, you know, so I just want to continue to do it. So part of the reason why it took me so long was I just kept adding on to the pages. Like, I'll go back and then I'll be like, oh, maybe I should do a little bit more of this and that, and this is like not even complete. I am toying with the idea of adding like a background color to this and this dessert, but I haven't made up my mind what color will be a suitable one. And I also worked on this one last night. I still don't like how it looks. The composition of the flowers was... There was supposed to be another blossom here, but as you can see... Oh well, anyway. Yep, I think at this point I'm just gonna declare defeat and give myself a few more days to complete the sketchbook. So I started day 8 with a sketch of Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. Decided I really need more practice on my portraits because apparently if you don't practice something, you lose it. And then I decided to do even more auroras and more underwater pictures and more mermaid because I don't know, I just thought it was fun, I guess. But I did decide to make the scene a little more interesting this time by adding like a foreground and background and adding more aquatic animals. I tried to make the mermaid look like she was having some sort of interaction with manta ray. Hopefully it translates through the picture. And I also use this technique where you put salt on wet watercolor paint and it creates a really lovely texture. It took a really long while to dry, but it created a really nice texture that I'm so excited to try again on other paintings. I just really need to remember to do that. Starting the 9th day with this picture of Rumi. I'm gonna go ahead and start painting it now, and through the magic of television, you see the final painted picture because I was just a little bit lazy to record. Here I'm adding some background color and salt to add like texture and depth. On hindsight, I probably should have added more paint to the background. That would definitely accentuate the effect of the salt. But yeah, I didn't do that. And then I went in and touched up the lips. I don't really like the face. I think somehow when I was painting it, I've done something again and now the face doesn't look like the sketch at all. I need to do something about this. And we've finally come to the last 2 paintings of the book. At this point, I discovered I haven't actually done any urban streetscape pictures, and so I decided to paint and draw this picture of a scene near Mount Fuji. I decided to go really simple. I did my pencil sketch and then I inked it, and then I decided to keep the colors very simple. I just went with a monochromatic blue-gray color. I'm not sure if it's the paper degrading, but the paint just really didn't sit very well on the paper, and I am constantly trying to remind myself to be more adventurous with my paint, especially watercolor, because they tend to dry so much lighter. As you can see, this is how the painting looks like when it's wet, but as you will see, it looks so much lighter when it is dry. So I think this is the last picture. I might come back and make some amendments to it, but it is 8 a.m. so I am going to sleep.
希望你们能够有一个非常愉快的一天。
So this is the final product of finishing my sketchbook in 1 week. I didn't actually manage to finish it in 1 week. I finished it in like 8.5 days, I think. So now I'm gonna flip through it. I might do something to this page and write the date of this challenge. So I tried my best to do as much of a variety as I could, and this is of course the first painting I did at Tiong Bahru Bakery. I really miffed with myself for like screwing up the composition like this. Should be a little bit higher. And this is Tiong Bahru Bakery. These two are done in acrylic markers. I've fallen in love with acrylic markers, and like I've been wanting to use acrylic more these days and maybe pick up gouache. But acrylic markers are such a nice and convenient way to get the look. And this is a chicken salad that I made and ate. I really like this picture. Watermelon, I really don't like this one. This is my least favorite because I tried to follow the cool kids. I tried to like do the basic sketch with a red watercolor pencil. Can't erase the watercolor pencil, and so I was stuck with the mistakes I made, and I really just don't like this. The ratio of the features on this face is so wrong. Anyway, I totally fell in love again with my Daniel Smith phthalo turquoise paint. It's the one that's I use for the water. It was given to me by a friend, and it's just such a pretty color. And I also love the pink. I think it's also a Daniel Smith watercolor that my friend gave to me. So like after this challenge, now that I've used the Daniel Smith so much, like I pretty much primarily use it for water because I think it just gives such a pretty color. Like this one is also Daniel Smith phthalo turquoise. This is also phthalo turquoise, but of course this I've added other colors like green and black, and so the colors looks a little bit different. It's such a pretty color, and yeah, now I'm intrigued and I want to buy more Daniel Smith colors. I'm really disappointed that the edges turned out this way, but such is life. Yes, I really love the combination of pink and blue and purple. This three shade just it's so nice. I love it. This jellyfish portrait turned out way better than I expected. I really like the loose approach here. Yeah, these are two landscape pictures I did based on two reels I found online. Like I mentioned, this is supposed to be like an aurora, but I feel like it looks like a forest fire. And some parrots. Oh, I think this looks so cute. Like these two pictures are done with acrylic markers, as you can see how pigmented it is. And this is actually mixed media. It's a combination of watercolor and watercolor pencils. I think I've mentioned before that I really don't like the composition of this picture. There's actually a flower here, but I don't really know why. I think I was trying to make it more shadowy, but then I overdid it, and now it's like so hidden. And I tried to bring it back with watercolor pencils, but it was gone. So, but I had fun. I don't usually do mixed media, so this is like a new attempt for me, and I feel like new doors are opened, and I love this. After the first failed portrait attempt, I got so disappointed. I was like, oh, I have to try portraits again. And this is actually kind of funny because like the actual sketch looks so different from this finished product. I'll put a picture and let you guys compare. Let me know if you can see the difference. But yeah, I wanted the hair and the body to have like very loose effect, so I kind of managed to do it with the hair and the decoration accessories in the hair, and I tried to do that with the fur coat, but I failed. And I wanted to try and make like snowflakes effect, but I don't think it was very obvious, sadly. So maybe I should have darkened the background so that the white snowflakes can be more obvious. But yes, so acrylic markers. This is a new style of like acrylic marker landscape I tried. I was inspired by this artist I saw on Instagram, so I tried to like, you know, mimic somewhat. And this took so long. Not gonna lie, it took so long. It was actually really difficult to draw this spread. Other than the fact that, you know, the pastries themselves are difficult, also the fact that I didn't actually have enough colors. I only have a 24 set of acrylic markers, so I didn't have a lot of color options, and I had to rely on blending them. But then when it comes to like pastries and cakes, they're all like brown, you know, and I only have a few shades of brown. So some watercolor. I watched The Hobbit, and so I was inspired to draw Tauriel. Or was it Tauri? But once again, I made her face and head way too big compared to the torso. But I did like her eyes. I love the way I colored the eyes and the lips. I'm usually not very good at painting and drawing lips, so this is a good exercise for me. And then more jellyfish, because I kind of fell in love with them, and then I fell in love with like the pink, purple, blue color combination. This is still Daniel Smith Phthalo Turquoise, I think. And I decided to try and do another sunset scene. I still don't like the way I did clouds. I think I might need to practice making clouds. Yep, this is acrylic markers. This is based on a picture of the family chiki. If you've been to Japan and you've tried their Family Mart fried chicken, you know how awesome it is. It's juicy and crispy at the same time. Then I drew this nasi lemak with acrylic markers. I'm pretty happy with it. I was happy I was able to do it with the acrylic markers. As I've mentioned, I only have 24 colors, and you know, like they all kind of have the same color range, reddish brownish. So it was really difficult to try and vary the colors with only 24 markers, but I was really happy I managed to kind of make it work. It doesn't look too shabby, right? And then coming to the last few pages, I was really like, oh my gosh, I was really struggling. And I decided I really need to step up and like color faster, and I decided I was going to do a spread. Then I decided to challenge myself to a Van Gogh Starry Night Sky. I went into this painting expecting this to be a simple, relaxing. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna dab and just, you know. Turns out this took me like, I think maybe 3 hours. I don't remember, but it took me very long. I didn't quite get the placement of the stars exactly the way it needs to be. And again, like 24 markers wasn't quite enough, so there was a lot of like trying to mix and blend the colors. I want to add a little bit of something of my own, so I added a little witch at the top. Could be a witch, could be a wizard, I don't know. But yeah, this one took so long, but I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. And I love how, you know, acrylic markers has this waterproof finishing that's almost glossy. Then I decided to try and paint birds. I'm really happy with the two of them. I don't really like the wings here. I'm happy because I went in and did this two painting without a pencil sketch. So I'm actually really proud of myself. I actually really like this. I thought he looks very cute. And then I found a reference photograph, and I decided I need to redeem myself and draw another human-ish portrait. Of course, this is Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't really like how the face turned out. I don't know. I don't really know where I failed again, but I really like how I did the hands and the body, and I love how I did the skin tone down to here. Like, I'm really pleased with how the colors came out, with the exception of the face. I actually love how this is all, again, phthalo turquoise and with the Daniel Smith pink. I think this combination is just such a pretty color. I also love the way I did the top. I think it's supposed to be white, because white is always such a difficult color to paint, and I'm happy I managed to kind of create an almost holographic kind of effect All thanks to the Daniel Smith turquoise, faded turquoise, and that pink. I think that color combination along with purple is just such a beautiful color. Like, this exercise have really taught me that the quality of your paint makes a difference. So I'm definitely gonna go shopping for some watercolor paints. And then I did an Aurora, Northern Lights, another underwater painting. Don't really like the manta ray that I did here. It looks a bit too flabby, but oh well. At this point, I was at the last few, so I was like, oh my god, I just want to finish it. But at this point, I was also like, hey, I haven't done like a landscape, streetscape picture yet. I decided to do like a monochrome picture. And then this is a little fun project. This is of course based on the girl with the pearl earrings, and this is my hamster version. I have a reference photograph of my hamster like just waking up from his nap, and then he had this face, and this might be my favorite picture out of the entire book. I think maybe it's the fact that it's based on a picture of my hamster, and I guess I just love him so much, and I just feel really happy whenever I see this picture. And I really love how the colors turn out. Like I mentioned, I only have 24 acrylic markers, so I was very apprehensive about being able to really recreate Johansson's girl with pearl earrings, but I think I did pretty well. I mean, the nose looks a bit the color's not quite right, but I don't know, I don't care. I think I'm happy with this. And yeah, then the last picture, I didn't end strong, I admit. I just decided to do something very simple. This is done with acrylic markers, but I think like it's really difficult to layer light colors on top of dark colors, and that's what I did for everything else except these two flowers, which is why you can tell like these two flowers are a lot brighter than the others. So anyway, lesson learned. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I thank you for coming on this adventure with me. I walked away from this challenge with not just a completed sketchbook, but also my battle wounds. For some reason, I think I might have overused my wrist, and now I need to wear like a wrist brace for maybe a couple of days. And yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye!